in the past, you have the older people, the people that rose up through the ranks, got to the top, like the CEO of whatever company. They make all the money. They're 70 years old. But now you have people like, I forget his name, but started Ethereum. He's our age.
22.
Yeah, so started as a teen and made hundreds of millions of dollars off of this. You're going to have the first billionaire teenager in the next 10 years. At least that's what David Perel predicts. Yeah, so if you're anyone listening and you want to create something, you want to, whether that's a business, some sort of video, YouTube adventure, podcast, whatever it is, this is your episode. I think people in general, like a big theme in another one of the episodes was how older people just don't understand what's going on. Companies especially don't understand what's going on. But it's a complete movement. Like each person, I kind of said this, maybe it was on the podcast or after, with adults not understanding, like they had their kid. This is some example where they had like 60,000 subscribers, and the parent was like, "Oh, what are you going to do with that? Like, you should go to college and do your thing." But imagine now thinking, "Oh, this is a Gillette Stadium or some football stadium filled with people, and your son is in the middle performing in front of all of them every
3 times
single
a week."
day." Right?
Yeah. When you put it in those terms for me, I was like, holy, like, and then scale that up, and Sarah Dietschy's got 600,000 of those. Casey's got 12 million. Every single time he posts a video, he's filling, what'd you say, the state of New York? Or
True, 12 million. I didn't actually do the population on that, but I assume it's at least like the city of New York, greater New York.
That's absurd.
Is something like that. So I think maybe we can jump into that first, is like the idea that creators just are misunderstood and undervalued right now, because you have this entire football stadium. And I think they talk about in the beginning with, what's his name? The Vine guy that now has podcasts and merch everywhere.
The Pauls brothers?
Yeah. Logan
Yeah.
Paul. I don't follow them. I think they're for younger people or whatever, but
Super annoying.
In New York City, they had a little pop-up shop, and for 13 blocks, it was just like 8-year-old kids and their parents lined up, and the parents have no idea why the hell their kids drag them out, but it goes on like it's the Beatles or something.
It's the new wave. David Dobrik's the same, right? He has a pop-up shop, and he's selling $1 million in merch a month. A month. He's doing $12 million a year in merch that says clickbait.
Right.
Like, people, wake up. The world's changing. I just texted someone that. The world is totally changing.
And right, these people are our age, and that's actually one, I forget which episode. We've listened to so many episodes regarding this, but I think, was it David Perel? Someone was like,
What were they like? Maybe I could fill in the type. Draw the dots.
No. Cutting
the
that
dots,
whole
fill in the
tangent
blank.
off. Cutting it off. My brain just shut down for 5 to 10 seconds right there. We gotta cancel.
What was
that.
it in that episode too? I think Logan Paul, he did a $300,000 brand deal with Dunkin' Donuts, and he said, "I'm going to be the first billionaire social media
that was it.
Personality." And I think he couldn't be more right. Like $300,000 Dunkin' Donuts. Charlie D'Amelio just did one.
He's underpaid for that. And
yeah, that's what he said. And he said that actually wasn't enough.
Right. The other podcast that I brain farted on, but it was talking about how in the past you have the older people, the people that rose up through the ranks, got to the top, like the CEO of whatever company. They make all the money. They're 70 years old. But now you have people like, I forget his name, but started Ethereum. He's our age.
22.
Yeah, so started as a teen and made hundreds of millions of dollars off of this. You're going to have the first billionaire teenager in the next 10 years. At least that's what David Perel predicts.
Could be you.
It's not going to be me. I don't want to do that. But it's...
It'll probably be Charlie D'Amelio, if I had to make a guess, actually.
Well, how old is she?
Maybe 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe TikTok's everything evaporates with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
But that's the thing. So I think that's why there's this big shift happening right now. And I think Nick made the point originally. David brings it up in the episode, but basically people are now becoming companies, and companies are becoming people. Dude, that's one of the biggest, like my favorite quotes from the episode.
Think about this. So I was just filming the start of a vlog for the next 2 days, and it's about this Super 73 story, right? Where they ripped me off because I gave you a referral code, and I was fake pissed about it. So I send them this funny email, and they get back to me with a funny answer, and they give me the cash basically. And right there, it's like companies are acting more like people, and if they're not, like, forget about it. You're gone. Think about banks. I don't, and I was talking about this in the video too, is like all they do, everything they do to make money is like to give you a hard time. It's overdraft fees, it's APR, it's like all this gross stuff. And if they keep doing that and don't treat their customers like a friend, or like in this changing world, they're not going to make it. I think that's why Schwab's such a great bank. But now we're talking about banking.
Yeah, I think everyone's recognizing this, and
it's the last frontier. What did he say about the moat?
Right.
Like,
Warren Buffett famously talks about the moat, and companies have these moats, and usually that's their brand value or some sort of patents that they have protecting whatever it is. But no one else can replicate what they're doing, and that's the protection from competition. And so now your ultimate protection, the last line of defense, is your personality, is your just humanness as a company. And that's why there's so much success, and that's why people are buying so much. Like, that's why the Pauls are making millions off of their merch, or same with Dobrik, where it's just like, hey, as soon as I start preaching something that I'm into, my whole wave of millions of people are going to start buying it.
Yep. And for me, that was everything Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon said. I was buying that. I was buying those lenses Peter's talking about, and his polarizer filters that are like Peter McKinnon branded. That's the wave.
What was interesting for me is this idea too of more native content. And I'm curious, I guess in 2 podcasts, they talked about growth strategies. This was in the David Perell episode or podcast, but he talked about how, Sarah talked about how collabs aren't the same. Like, collabs in the past, that's how Sarah came up on my radar, but they're no longer going to do it.
Like, so you say Vaynerchuk, which may or may not be right, but you also say collab, like a collab. It's a collab. Collab.
Just because you say it and it doesn't sound as cool doesn't mean you have to get self-conscious. Here's what's going on, all right? So collabs, collaboration, collab.
Collaboration.
Not
collaboration.
All right, I don't
this
care
here
anymore.
My collaboration.
So Belky's trying to do all these collaborations, but now they're not going to get you the same attention they used to. You got to maybe consider some sort of paid marketing or something like that. And what was interesting is you're so used to, like, say you go on YouTube, you'll get hit with like a Pepsi ad or something, and it's very like a TV ad style. But now what they're noticing is the most effective advertising is it looks like just another video from Sarah, but now it's branded. So you can't differentiate what's the ad and what's not. And I've seen this on Instagram too, scrolling. I'm like, is this an ad or is this like a normal
It's
thing?
really bad on TikTok because they make the ads look like TikToks.
That's the wave, and we're just noticing it now, but it is so powerful. And that's what happened. They mentioned Despacito music video, how it's the most viewed video ever in human history, because especially because they made it a paid ad in the beginning of every video, and people just ended up watching the entire ad because it's just catchy. So that's something maybe to consider.
That's how they blast it off?
That's how they, I think especially. I
thought we were anti-ads.
Well, now I'm like, oh, shit.
All these things just go back and forth. That's what's so hard is when you listen and consume this much stuff, you have to just like pick out the right things for you. Because we read one book and it says, don't advertise ever. You should only have 5 customers that truly love you. And then another, like Basecamp, right, where Fried says, well, you should never hedge all your business on 10 customers because if one leaves, that's 10%. So
it's just different ways of finding your true fans. We actually talked about this with Avtar, where I was kind of roasting his strategy subtly with long form content, but it's just like, no, the long form people that are true fans will read all my long form.